De'Veon Smith has fought for every opportunity he has been given when it comes to pro football. Smith went undrafted and has since jumped between the NFL, AAF, XFL, CFL, and now will be joining the USFL, playing for the Pittsburgh Maulers. De'Veon led the XFL in rushing and has the potential to be a superstar this season. How did we get here? Stay tuned to find out. De'Veon Smith was born on November 8, 1994, and grew up in Warren, Ohio. Warren is known for producing players like Maurice Claret, Mario Manningham, and Corey Stringer. Smith said growing up in Warren, all there really was to do was play football. De'Veon was the youngest of 5, with everyone playing the game of football. His brother Lance played at Wisconsin, while his brother Maurice played at Michigan State. Due to being the youngest, De'Veon took his licks, but that helped him become a star athlete. Growing up, Smith used to watch the VHS tapes of his older brother's high school football games over and over again, hoping to have the same type of success. He also wanted to make it to the league to help his mom, who raised the children largely by herself, working 2 jobs, days as a bus driver and nights as a nurse's aide, to provide for her family. De'Veon first started playing football when he was 4, and during his first game, he almost scored but stopped on the 1-yard line because he thought he had already gotten to the end zone. De'Veon attended Warren Howland High School, and as a junior, he rushed for 2,150 yards and 25 touchdowns. During his senior year, Smith would have broken his brother's single-game rushing record that he set back in 2005, rushing for 405 yards and 7 touchdowns. De'Veon told the Detroit Free Press, "I could have broken it. Senior year, first game for Howland, I had 317 yards over 17 carries, and they pulled me out. I could have broken it, but they didn't want me to. He talks trash about it, but I let him know I could have broken it the first game of my senior year. But he can have it. That's the only record he can have." Smith finished his senior year rushing for 1,707 yards and 27 touchdowns, finishing his high school career setting a county record 6,750 rushing yards, and finished as a finalist for the Ohio Mr. Football Award. Coming out of high school, according to 24/7 Sports Composite, De'Veon was a 4-star recruit who was the 218th best player in the 2013 recruiting class. He chose to commit to Michigan over the likes of Ohio State, Indiana, and West Virginia, which was a huge win for the Wolverines. Urban Meyer really wanted him, but he chose to leave the backyard of Ohio State for their arch rivals. As a freshman, Smith appeared in 4 games as a reserved running back. He also contributed on special teams, finishing the year with 26 carries for 117 yards. According to former Michigan offensive guard Kyle Callis, for the first year and a half, he played like he was still in high school. He was just thinking he could muscle guys. Similar to me, I thought I could muscle guys. Once he realized that college football was so much more about the mental aspect and finding the hole, the biggest thing for a back to realize is you have to let the play express itself. He needed to develop his patience as a runner over time. The offensive linemen and coaches loved him due to his hard running style and the fact he would never surrender. Former Michigan offensive coordinator Tim Drino told the Detroit Free Press, "His physicality, how he runs with the ball, and how he finishes, you don't know until you see it live. He's done that a couple different times this year and last year. Wow, that dynamic run, he ran through 5 guys. I go back to the BYU game last year where he busted through and kept his feet running. That stood out to me. This guy is a physical runner." As a sophomore, Smith rushed for 519 yards and 6 touchdowns, playing in 12 games, making 2 starts. During his junior year, Smith once again led the team for the second year in a row in rushing yards with 753 yards and 6 touchdowns, and finished his senior year rushing for 846 yards and 10 touchdowns on the ground. He was an All-Big Ten honorable mention running back for 2 years in a row and helped the Wolverines make it to the Orange Bowl. He finished his Michigan career rushing for 2,161 yards and 22 touchdowns in 49 games, starting 26 of them, and was a 4-year letterman. He decided to enter the 2017 NFL Draft, hoping to achieve his childhood dream of playing in the NFL. Back in February of 2017, Smith wrote a piece for the Detroit Free Press talking about the draft process. He played in the East-West Shrine game in the Senior Bowl after Michigan's bowl game and prepared for the Combine at IMG Academy. He talked about how long the process had been and talked about the toll it took on his legs, but he was not going to make excuses while training for the Combine. He dropped from 224 pounds and 9% body fat to 219 pounds and 6% body fat. His day started off by taking a body pod measurement at 6:15 a.m., treatment at 7 a.m., pre-gym routine at 8, followed by a speed routine. After that, he had film review and prepared for the Wonderlic test, and his day would end at 7 when he ate dinner. He hoped to have a strong combine to build on his day 3 projection. De'Veon was viewed as the best pass blocker among the rest of his class, but would unfortunately go undrafted. Smith would sign with the Miami Dolphins, but was waived and signed to their practice squad a few months later. He was promoted to the active roster at the end of November. He then signed with Washington, but was cut during final roster cuts. Smith decided to sign with the Alliance of American Football, joining the Orlando Apollos. Unfortunately, the league would fold in the middle of the season. The following year, he was drafted by the Tampa Bay Vipers of the XFL and led the league in rushing yards before the events of 2020 canceled the second half of the season. He signed with the Aviator of the Spring League in October of 2020 and performed well enough to earn a shot with the BC Lions of the CFL a few months later. Unfortunately, he was cut a few months later. Earlier this week, Smith was drafted by the Pittsburgh Maulers of the USFL. Hopefully, he'd have a breakout season which could lead to him making it back to the NFL one day. It was a blast watching De'Veon Smith in the XFL, and I can't wait to watch him in the USFL come April. But what do you think? Will De'Veon Smith find success in the USFL? Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, consider checking out my video on Brian Scott right here. If you want more USFL content, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, remember to embrace the grind.